Imagine making, I don't know, $100,000 a year, right? You've got this supercomputer in your pocket that can trade global stocks in a millisecond, and yet, functionally, you are somehow poorer than an ancient Babylonian clay brick layer from like 4,000 years ago.
Right, yeah. It's wild to think about.
It is. I mean, today we're looking at why our modern technology really hasn't fixed our ancient money problems. You've got crypto wallets, algorithmic trading apps, instantaneous global transfers just by, double tapping your phone.
Oh, yeah, it's completely frictionless finance now.
Exactly. We live in this era of frictionless finance. But if you strip away all that digital noise, the fundamental rules of building a wealth mindset, the absolute core mechanics of how to accumulate and hold on to resources, they really haven't changed since people were literally trading livestock and keeping ledgers on clay tablets.
The contrast is honestly jarring. I mean, the tools we use to track and transfer our capital have evolved exponentially, sure, but the human psychology driving our financial decisions,
It's exactly the same.
it has remained entirely static for millennia. We are still driven by the same fears, the same, desires for status, and the same impulsive behaviors that bankrupted citizens in the ancient world.
Which brings us to the mission for today's deep dive. We are going to unlock some truly timeless financial wisdom that can, fundamentally transform your money habits, your mindset, and ultimately your long-term financial stability.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And to do that, we're unpacking the incredibly famous 1926 classic by George S. Clason, The Richest Man in Babylon.
And what Clason did so brilliantly there was take the often, well, let's face it, dry mathematical side of personal finance and wrap it in these ancient Babylonian parables.
Right, making it actually readable.
Exactly. By using stories of ordinary people in a historical civilization who had to figure out how to navigate an economy, it kind of bypasses our modern defenses. Like when we read a modern finance book, we immediately look for excuses.
Oh, totally. Like, oh, taxes are different now, or the housing market is way worse.
Exactly. But when you look at an ancient society, you're forced to focus purely on the behavioral economics. The principles of personal finance become stripped down to their absolute essence.
Okay, let's unpack this, because I want to dive into one of those stories, since this is really where the magic happens. The book opens with a guy named Bansir. He's a chariot builder.
Right. The best in the city, arguably.
Yeah. He works incredibly hard. His hands are calloused. He puts in these long, grueling hours, and yet he's sitting on the wall of his modest home, completely depressed, just staring at an empty purse.
It's such a relatable image, honestly.
It really is. And he looks out at the massive wealth of Babylon, and he asks his friend Kobe, who's a musician and equally broke, a very simple question. He's like, where does all the money go? They realize they have labored their entire lives and have absolutely nothing to show for it.
And Bansir represents the modern middle class perfectly. I mean, he generates income, he has a valuable skill, but he is a conduit for money, not a reservoir.
Yeah.
And the realization he comes to is the very foundation of an abundance mindset. It just does not matter how much water you pour into a bucket if the bucket has holes in the bottom.
Yeah, the bucket's just going to keep draining.
Exactly. Before you can build a financial empire, you really have to capture what you are already creating.
Right. So Bansir and Kabi decide to go ask their childhood friend Arkad, who is literally the richest man in Babylon, for his secret. And Arkad's very first piece of advice is so simple it almost sounds like a joke.
Oh, it really does.
He tells them, a part of all you earn is yours to keep. It's the classic 10% rule. Before you pay the butcher, the sandal maker, the tax collector, you pay yourself 1/10 of your earnings.
It sounds so simple, but doing that requires a profound neurological shift. Think about the physical act of getting a paycheck today. The money lands in your account, and instantly, what do? You distribute it.
Right, yeah. Rent, bills, food.
Exactly. You pay your landlord, the utility company, the credit card company, the streaming services. You're implicitly training your brain to believe that everyone else's financial well-being is a higher priority than your own.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You are paying everyone but yourself. You are literally working for them.
It's like you're just a middleman between your employer and your landlord.
That's exactly what you are. Taking that first 10% out before any other bill is paid completely subverts that dynamic. By paying yourself first, you force an identity shift.
Right.
You begin to view yourself as your own most important creditor. You are rewarding yourself for your own labor immediately.
It's like the oxygen masks on an airplane, right? You have to put yours on first before paying the electric bill or, I don't know, buying a new gadget.
That's a perfect analogy. And this isn't just about saving pennies. It builds immense long-term security and this deep sense of confidence.
Hmm.
You start to realize that true wealth doesn't start with how much you earn.
It starts entirely with how much you keep. But wait, I hear that 10% rule, and mathematically it makes sense. But honestly, when rent is up 20%, groceries are skyrocketing, gas prices are just totally unpredictable, isn't telling someone to just live below their means a bit oversimplified? I mean, modern life feels intensely expensive right now.
It is intensely expensive. And honestly, that pushback is exactly what Banseer and the other Babylonians say to Arcad in the book.
Really? They bring that up?
Yeah, they say, my purse is empty, how can I keep a tenth? And Arcad responds by pointing out a universal economic truth that we know today as Parkinson's law.
Okay, remind me what that is again.
It's the idea that our expenses will always rise to equal our income unless we consciously protest to the contrary. He makes a very sharp distinction between our actual needs and our desires.
Ah, the classic lifestyle creep.
Exactly. The psychology behind it is fascinating. We are biologically wired to seek the dopamine hits that come with new acquisitions.
Oh, for sure. Getting a package in the mail is the best feeling.
Right. And we confuse wants with needs constantly, just to justify those hits. I mean, a reliable vehicle to get to work is a need. A brand new luxury SUV with a monthly payment that rivals a mortgage.
Yeah, that is definitely a want.
Exactly. Nutritious food is a need, but dining out or ordering delivery 4 times a week is a want. To build wealth, you have to actively manage your lifestyle, rather than letting your lifestyle manage you.
So it's really about auditing your own behavior. It's not about punishing yourself. It's about looking at, say, a subscription you haven't used in 3 months or that daily premium coffee and asking, is this dopamine hit worth stealing from my future self?
Precisely.
When you track your expenses, you transition from making emotional financial decisions to conscious ones. You plug the holes in the bucket.
And once you plug those holes, you create the margin necessary to actually capture that 10% we talked about.
Okay, so we've patched the bucket. We have our 10%. But having a pile of money just sitting under a mattress or, rotting away in a checking account, losing value to inflation, that isn't going to create those success principles we're looking for. The money has to be activated.
Yes, exactly.
Arcad tells the men that saving is just the start. The real secret is making your gold work for you.
Because saving alone is fundamentally defensive. To achieve financial freedom, you have to go on the offensive. You must put your capital to work so it can multiply.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because I absolutely love the mental model Arcad uses for this. He says to think of investing like hiring employees.
Right, the tiny workers.
Yeah, every single dollar you manage to save is a tiny little worker.
Yeah.
And their only job, their sole purpose in life, is to go out into the market and recruit more dollars to bring back to you. You are essentially building an army of capital.
What's fascinating here is that analogy perfectly captures the mechanics of compound growth. When your money earns a return, and then those returns go out and earn even more returns, you are stepping into a whole new reality.
It's exponential.
Exactly. Your wealth is no longer tied strictly to your physical labor, your hours, or your joints aching at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The tiny workers don't need to sleep.
They don't take coffee breaks.
Nope. They work weekends, holidays, and while you are on vacation.
But, I look at how people invest today, and we see them sending their little workers out into absolute war zones. Crypto gambles, meme stocks, incredibly risky venture.
Oh, the speculation is rampant.
It really is. We feel so much urgency to escape the daily grind that we try to force our money to double overnight. How do we balance that desperation to grow our wealth quickly with the patience required to, avoid getting wiped out?
This is where we transition to the concept of defending your wealth. Arcad tells a story in the book about his first big failure. He saved up his money for a year, and then he gave it to a brickmaker who was traveling to a distant land to buy rare jewels.
Okay, a brickmaker buying jewels.
Right, you see the problem. The plan was to sell the jewels for a massive profit. But the brickmaker was duped and bought worthless pieces of glass. Arcad lost everything.
Because he trusted a brickmaker to evaluate jewels. I mean, come on.
Exactly. The lesson is that capital must be protected fiercely. Wealth grows slowly, steadily, and safely. It does not grow through gambling.
Right?
If you cannot clearly explain how an investment generates its return, you are not investing, you are speculating. The urgency you mentioned before, that is an emotional response. And emotional responses are the enemy of sound investing.
It's almost like you have to be the protective boss of your dollar employees. Like, you don't send them into a burning building just because someone said there might be a pile of gold inside.
Yeah.
You don't buy an asset just because a guy on social media said it was going to the moon.
You seek reliable opportunities, and you protect your principal at all costs. The map of compound interest only works if you don't reset your balance to zero through reckless risk. Losing your capital sets you back infinitely more than missing out on a supposed sure thing.
So the mechanics of investing are actually pretty conservative when you look at it. Save the 10%, protect it, and let compound interest do the heavy lifting over a long horizon.
That's the formula.
But all of this relies on the human being actually generating the income in the first place. The mechanics of investing only work if the person managing the money is continuously growing. We have to pivot from the money itself to the engine creating it.
This is where the richest man in Babylon transcends basic budgeting and steps into deep personal development. Clausen emphasizes that your ability to earn is, without question, your greatest asset. You are the primary wealth-generating mechanism.
So to grow financially, you literally have to grow personally.
Fundamentally, yes. If you want to increase your income, you have to make yourself more valuable to the marketplace. This means taking courses, reading books, studying the masters of your craft.
Constantly learning.
Exactly. Seeking out opportunities to solve more complex problems in your field. As your capacity to deliver value expands, your earning power naturally expands with it.
But there is a massive anchor that drags so many people down, preventing them from doing any of this, and that's debt. The book describes debt as an enemy to be conquered, this heavy burden that steals your future. And I think we often treat debt way too casually today, just as a monthly math equation.
We do. And the psychological weight of debt is staggering. When you are in debt, your future labor is already spoken for.
That's a scary thought.
It is. Your money does not belong to you, it belongs to your creditors. It strips away your autonomy and your ability to take risks or seize opportunities because you are completely chained to a monthly obligation.
So what does this all mean practically? Like, look at your credit card statement right now. That interest charge, that's you working for a bank for free this month.
Exactly.
I always think of consumer debt as a time machine, but like the worst kind of time machine, it forces your future self to pay for your past self's impulsive decisions.
That is a great way to put it.
Right. You bought a TV or a vacation 3 years ago on a credit card, and the you of today is literally trading the hours of your actual life to pay for a decision a younger, less responsible version of you made. It's stealing your current time.
And Clayton's solution for this is highly structured. First, you have to stop the bleeding. Stop borrowing for lifestyle wants immediately.
Cut up the cards.
Yeah, cut them up. Then, you allocate your income with rigid discipline. He suggests 70% for living expenses, 10% for paying yourself, and 20% aggressively dedicated to paying down your creditors.
Wow, 20% just to the debt.
Yes. And the psychological freedom that returns to you when your income belongs entirely to you again, that is what fuels your future wealth.
Okay, but if I'm super focused on learning new skills and trying to boost my earning power, is there a trap where I might accidentally neglect the basic discipline of saving? Like, I could get so caught up in the hustle culture of making more that I completely forget the keeping it part.
Oh, absolutely. It's actually the most common trap for high earners. The principles must work synergistically. Increasing your earning power without the discipline of the 10% rule just fuels lifestyle creep.
Right, because you make more, so you buy a bigger house.
And then a nicer car.
Right.
And then you stay exactly as broke as you were, just with higher quality stress.
Higher quality stress. I love that.
It's true. Conversely, practicing the 10% rule without increasing your earning power limits your ultimate potential. You need both. And to navigate that balance without making catastrophic mistakes, Arcad provides one final mandate, which is to seek wise counsel.
Surround yourself with the right people.
Because wealth is rarely built in isolation. You must learn from people who have actual proven experience. Remember Arcad's mistake with the brickmaker buying jewels.
How could I forget?
Right. If you want to know about sheep, you go to the shepherd. If you want to know about investing, you do not go to your brick brother-in-law or a random internet forum.
Definitely not the internet forum.
No. You seek out individuals who have a demonstrable track record of financial stability. Wisdom from the experienced is really the ultimate shortcut to success.
It's essentially a life hack. Why endure the financial pain of trial and error? Why lose years of compound interest when you can just adopt the mental frameworks of someone who has already survived the minefield?
It requires humility to admit you don't know the way, but that humility protects your capital.
Let's tie all of these ancient yet entirely relevant threads together. We're looking at a comprehensive operating system for financial freedom here. It starts with recognizing that your expenses will always rise to match your income unless you intervene.
Right.
You intervene by paying yourself that first 10%. You put that 10% to work as tiny soldiers, multiplying your wealth through steady, understandable investments, acting as a fierce protector of your capital against get-rich-quick rumors.
And simultaneously, you are optimizing the engine of that wealth.
Yeah.
You are boosting your earning power by becoming more valuable in your profession. You are systematically breaking the chains of consumer debt to reclaim your future time, and you are actively seeking out proven mentors to guide your decisions.
It really is a complete blueprint, and it proves that true financial wisdom and healthy money habits aren't about complex algorithms, insider trading, or having a trust fund. They are universally accessible success principles.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the profound takeaway from The Richest Man in Babylon is that long-term wealth is very rarely a product of luck. It is a manifestation of discipline, daily routines, and a high degree of emotional intelligence around money.
It's about overcoming the human impulse for instant gratification,
Exactly.
which means it is entirely within your control. And that brings us to your call to action for today. We don't want you to just listen to this deep dive, feel momentarily inspired, and then go back to the exact same habits tomorrow. We want you to fundamentally disrupt your routine.
Take action today.
Right. Take one small, concrete step today, right now. Go into your banking app and set up an automatic transfer that routes 10% of your very next paycheck into a separate savings account that you cannot easily touch. Or, I don't know, sit down tonight and cancel one recurring subscription you've been blindly paying for. Or dedicate 20 minutes to researching a new certification in your field. Yes! Take the wheel. Move toward your financial freedom with real intention. And if this deep dive sparked an aha moment for you, send it to a friend or family member who might need a little financial clarity and confidence themselves.
The journey to an abundance mindset always begins with a single, deliberate decision to stop letting the current pull you and start swimming with purpose.
And as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over. We spend so much time obsessed with the numbers on the screen, stressing over the balance in the account. But what if the true value of building wealth isn't actually the money you accumulate? What if the real prize is the person you must become: disciplined, emotionally intelligent, patient, and deeply intentional in order to accumulate it?
That changes the entire pursuit. The money is just a byproduct of who you are.
Something to think about. Until next time.